This episode's brought to you by Red Cape Films.
I wouldn't say we made it, but we made it through. We just had moose and egg and we made them do that. I wouldn't say we made it, but we made it through. We just had moose and egg.
Today's episode is sponsored by F&C House of Cards, sports cards and collectibles, located in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Welcome back, everyone, to yet another episode of Red Cape Sports. This is part 2. Once again, I'm here with Frank from F&C House of Cards, and today is going to be a very great day because Frank is generous enough to show me how I can actually send off sports cards to get graded. Now, my first question, though, Frank, and I've done all my research, but I want to know, what are some of the pros and cons, I guess, of sending cards out to PSA versus BGS and even a local company such as Mint?
There's really, grading company is grading company. Some grading companies have a better rep than others. Okay, but again, it comes down to what the main reason is. What are you sending? Okay, each company, PSA, BGS, and Mint, those are the top 3 companies in my opinion that I would totally recommend if you were to send a card to grade to use one of those 3. It comes down to what card are you sending. PSA was good for any baseball that is old, vintage baseball, vintage hockey, or any up-and-coming rookies or established rookies. It seems that the general public likes to see PSA on vintage. Why? The reason being, PSA was the only reputable, great grading company in the 80s and the 90s.
Okay.
And we have the older generation, or older collectors that collect today. That's all they knew back then. And that's what they stuck to. So, does that make BGS bad? No, not by any means. But this older generation that still collect, that's all they knew. They knew PSA, PSA, PSA. So therefore, today when you ask them, what would you prefer? PSA. Not because it's better, it's just because that's what the older generation and the average being vintage collectors, I would say 90% older generation, 10% new generation. Okay. For modern cards, you can go either way. However, newer hockey, BGS is the way to go. It increases the value. It's more sought after, and it's easier. Yeah.
So that's definitely helpful, right? I guess it's a pretty good cheat sheet, and maybe Mitch and I will make a little graphic of, this is what I have, this is what you recommend. Now, there is a slight difference, maybe not in price, but actually in terms of what you're getting. Because with BGS, they do have the subgrading.
Yes.
So can you kind of explain what the subgrading is?
Subgrading is if you send a card and it comes back a 9. Most of us would be like, why? I would like to know, why did I get a 9? With PSA, when you get a 9, it's basically a guessing game.
Right.
Not taking anything away from PSA, but it's a guessing game of why did you get a 9. That's when BGS, the great grading of BGS comes in, as they tell you why did your card get a 9. They'll give you the subgrade, which they'll grade the 4 important aspects of the card separately. Take all these 4 subgrades, add them, divide them by 4 to get your final grade. So if the card in the naked eye looked, corners were great, centering is great, edges are great, why did I get a 9? And if you see that surface is 8.5, which is, as we mentioned, it's hard to see. Now you have closure as why your card is not as perfect. Yeah.
So that's definitely helpful, right? I guess ease of mind as well. That way you know. Okay, so let's say I have some cards here that I want to get graded. So what do I do? Let's say I want to get these graded BGS. Is there a website where I can fill out a form or something?
Yes, BeckettGrading.com. There's several ways to go about it. If you only grade in one, to start with, to send a card by yourself, you need an account.
Okay.
Okay. With BGS, accounts are free.
Okay.
You can sign up for them. With the account, they'll send you the form. In the form, it has the pricing, it has all the information, it has basically they'll tell you everything you need to know about how to send in a card. In your account, it's going to be obviously specific to you with your name, your address, and their address. And basically, they'll walk you through what to do. PSA, yes, you can send as it is, but you can also, that if you're a guy that know that you'll be sending a multiple cards, again, you need an account. With PSA, if you're sending a volume of cards, the accounts are not free. Okay. You know, there's different levels for accounts, which will allow you to send cards for a reduced price. Like if you were to send a PSA card without an account and you want it relatively fast, it could cost you up to $50, $60, $70 per card.
Wow.
Yeah. With an account, let's say you sign up for a yearly account, you pay, for example, an amount of $300 a year. They allow you to send in 50 cards at $10 or $15 or $20. Keep in mind that all these prices are in US dollar.
Okay. Now, if I send in one card versus a bulk order with friends and family, let's say 100 cards.
Yes.
Am I going to get them back at the same time?
Yes. Yes. Most companies have a guaranteed service, and these three companies particularly, they're pretty good at keeping their guaranteed service. If you happen to send 100 cards, 30-day service, you can rest assured that the job will be done within 30 days. A lot of people say, well, I sent them on March 5th and it's April 5th today, I didn't get them. It's 30-day service, not 30-day turnaround.
Okay.
Okay? So basically, when you mail them, when you mail your package, the day they receive it and sign for the package, that's when your 30 days start.
Okay.
So if it takes 3 days to get there, that's not counting towards the 30 days. But as many shipments I have sent, within that first 30 days that they confirm receiving the package, I already receive an email saying that cards will be all got graded, and you'll receive an email telling you of the grades of everything you received, and a confirmation of mailing. That's within the 30 days, and it comes down to how many days it's going to take for you to receive the cards back. Usually they use good, reputable mailing services, so it shouldn't be more than 2 or 3 days.
Awesome. That's definitely good to know. So after looking through part one, we discovered, let's say, for example, these are the cards that we decide to grade.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know, like, how to grade these. Do I send off this entire magnet holder, or is there a process to this?
Okay. Yes, there is a process to this. Most card companies do not like you to send your cards in magnets. Why? Because as much as you like to you like your cards to stay mint, to be mint, they also do. Okay, they do not want extra responsibility, and they are careful, but why add work, right? Sending cards in magnets can be a downfall in many ways, because after all, it is hard plastic. Going against each other, it's pressure, right? That's for your own information that you shouldn't. Why? Because it's just too much to worry about. Yeah. Most companies recommend you to send cards and what they call card savers.
Okay.
Okay. They're easy to work with. They're very easy to take the cards out of, and they're so flexible that even if there's some movement or whatever, card stays in the best possible shape.
Okay.
Yeah. There's ways to do it. You got to be very careful when you take a card in and out, because after all, that is basically the most you could subject the card to be damaged is while handling it. Okay. I can easily show you how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is where we're talking about a card saver. This is what we're talking about. Ultra Pro is basically one of the best in the business to make these. They make them very flexible, very nice.
Are they expensive?
Yeah, they are not very expensive at all. I think you can pick up a box of 200 for about $25.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and if you find somewhere that they sell them individually, even better. You know, I personally, when I sell them at the store, you can have an option. I can open the box and they come in 2 packages of 100. You can buy 100 or you can buy 200. Or if you want singles, I'll hook you up. That's not a problem. Okay, so we go to how to take a card and put it in here. Okay, get out of the cards of the magnet. One thing you gotta be very, very careful with is you gotta remember that your hand naturally oily. You may not feel it, you may not see it, but it is. Try to keep your hands out of the surface of the card because that little oil smudge, that they see that's an imperfection. How to take a card out of a magnet, the best possible way is you basically hold your hands up where basically, well, you got to judge and dump the card where, see, the surface is not touching anything. All I'm touching is the edges, and the edges are the strongest part of the card.
Okay.
Okay? Then you go that, we'll take the cards from the edges, never touching the surface.
Okay.
Next move, you can place the card right here, it's fine, and always place it where you have a hold on it.
Okay.
Next thing you do is it goes into a soft sleeves. Soft sleeves are primary protection for any card. Okay.
Now, is there a way to ensure that we don't ruin the corners?
Absolutely. I always say that if you're a beginner, soft sleeve, it's plastic. If you have a little scissors or whatever, cut one of the sides,
Okay.
which will give you so much room. But if you know what you're doing, you don't need it. Okay. You always place a card into a soft sleeve from, you pick a corner and you place that card from one corner, and automatically the other corner should slide if you're careful. So we do this. As soon as one corner is in, all you have to do is tilt the cards and automatically the other side will go in.
Okay.
And when you push again, don't hold it like this, don't hold it. Basically, it's a small, and here you go.
There we go.
Card is primarily protected, this. Now we go here. Yes, these are flexible and great for it. If you have brand new ones, first thing which I recommend everybody does is don't right away slide the card into it. It's flexible, but after all, it is plastic that actually the heat makes a difference with it. So just a little bit, you just do one of those on both sides and you can hear the noise that's opening up. Okay? Now you take the card again. Now you can do this. Why? Because there's plastic on top of it, so you're fine. Okay? Again, same way as you put it in a soft sleeve, you put it in a bag. And a card saver. You go like this, and it automatically should slide in.
Okay.
Okay. As you squeeze in here, it gives yourself more room. Sometimes you can actually, the cards will go in by itself, but you can just give it a little nudge. All the way in.
Okay.
Voila. You're done. Card's safe.
Just like that.
Just like that. You have nothing to worry about up to that.
And of course, no Scotch tape on the top.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You don't need a Scotch tape on it. Scotch tape can only be placed if you're using a top loader that it's bigger size than the card, and you can feel a wiggle.
Right.
Okay.
And at which point it'd probably still be better to use painter's tape.
Pennies, yeah. A card saver or.
Okay. So now that I have this, do I need to print off anything and put it in a? Do I just put a stamp on this card, or how do I go about mailing
this is
it?
a card. Apparently, before you you fill up the card. You need to fill up the information on it. Card will tell you, will give you the numbers. Well, basically, you have to put your name as the sender and every card, because, like you said, sometimes a bunch of friends and family will send one package to save on shipping, to save on grading, whatever. You're gonna put your number next to each card, the card brand, the card number, if it's serial number, the serial number, and the value of the card, the declared value of the card.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, you've mentioned before that the declared value is really important, and how even adding one extra card can kind of change that. Mm-hmm. Why is that important to declare the value on a card?
Well, for insurance purposes. Yes, you trust yourself when you ship it. Yes, you trust the grading company when they ship it back to you. but you cannot trust the mail system in between. Sometimes, most of the times are great, but you don't know what happens, right? We hear over the news that packages got lost all the time for whatever reasons. That's when the declared value becomes very handy. You are paying for an insured service that your card will go and come back. The value of the card determines your compensation.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're insured at the Tavares Young Gun, let's take this card for example, and it has a value of $200, and if that card for whatever reason does not arrive or arrives damaged, then they just cost you $200. Then somebody's reliable to pay you the $200 that the card was insured for.
Now, can I just lie and say that this card is worth $3,000?
You can, but why would you do that? I mean, just like stuff, you have a guideline, they have a guideline too.
Okay.
And after all, you're paying to insure a card that's worth $10 for $3,000. You're paying $70 in insurance for a card that's not worth $70.
So it's better to not lie.
No,
And
absolutely. No reason to lie. There's no reason. Insure the card for what it is. Yes, sometimes you do add on the value because we all know that some cards sell for a lot more than what they stated value is. Okay? Take your big boy Acuna right now. His update rookie in the book, it's only at $50, but I'll gladly pay $50 for anything you bring me. I'll pay $60.
Yeah.
The value is the market value, not the book value, not the, one more important step that after you did this, before you send it, everything is ready. There's your buddy here, the team bag.
Okay.
Okay. After it's all said on this, you did mention, do I put Scotch tape? No, you don't. This is an equivalent to a Scotch tape in a much safer way. Most of them are resealable. Cards goes in here. Move that part right here, and you're done. This card is
Simple as that.
as simple as that. This card is ready to go all the way to BGS, and believe you not, when they receive a card like this, they're very pleased with you.
So they're happy. So
Yes.
basically, what you're saying is, because we took the time and effort, maybe they're in a long 8-hour shift that maybe it deserves an 8.5 or a 9, but they bump it up by half a mark.
Well,
Not all the
we'd
time.
like to think so,
But-
but they're pretty good at keeping their. All it is the less handling time the card receives, the less subjected to damage it is. Okay, the least they handle it, the least they can damage it,
Yeah.
or for you too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Frank.
My pleasure.
I do appreciate it. And thank you all so much for watching. This has been an absolute pleasure. So before you leave, though, please take the 15 to 30 seconds to like Frank's Facebook page. And I believe by the time that this video does get uploaded, Frank will be very, very close to be celebrating 1 year for his store. So a big round of applause for that.
Thank you very much.
And leave some thumbs up. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.